You ever notice the people who talk the most trash about you are the ones doing the least with their own lives? Yeah. Tonight, we're not just calling them out. We're learning how to stop caring, keep living, and maybe enjoy the show. Episode 5. People talk trash about you.
Chapter 1. The reality of toxic people. All right, let's talk about it. You know, there's a certain type of person that could walk into a room full of puppies, sunshine, and fresh cookies and somehow turn it into a group therapy session. I'm talking about toxic people. They're everywhere. Here's the good news. You don't have to go looking for them. Here's the bad news. You don't have to go looking for them. School? They're there. Workplace? Oh, they've probably got their own desk. Home? Let's not even open that family group chat. We're not ready for that fight tonight. And let's be real. Not all toxic people are cartoon villains. It's not like they're twirling a mustache in the corner plotting your downfall while stroking a cat. No, the dangerous ones are subtle. They wrap their negativity in just kidding or friendly advice. The energy drain. You know how your phone battery slowly drains even if you're not using it? That's you around toxic people. You could be minding your business, sipping coffee, and boom, one little comment from them and suddenly you're 37% more stressed for the rest of the day.
Different species of toxic. Let's break them down, because not all toxic people operate the same way. 1. The gossip channel. They're like a walking podcast that nobody subscribed to, and yet somehow you know every episode. You tell them one thing in confidence. Congratulations, you've just entered their "Did you hear about?" segment. 2. The backhanded compliment factory. Wow, you actually look good today. Actually? Was there a meeting where I looked like a disaster before? 3. The victim in chief. They've never done anything wrong, ever. If a meteor hit the earth, somehow it would specifically be your fault because you gave off weird vibes last week. 4. The credit thief. You do the work, they get the glory. It's like you cooked the whole meal and they showed up just to post it on Instagram as if they made it. 5. The silent competitor. Never happy for you. You say you got promoted, they say, "Oh yeah, I got promoted twice." You say you got an A, they say, "I got an A+ in that class years ago." Congratulations, you've just entered the Olympics and didn't even sign up. The subtle attacks. The scary part about toxic people, they don't always go for the knockout punch. They chip away, slowly. They plant little seeds of doubt. Are you sure that's the right career for you? That's an interesting choice. I wouldn't do it, but okay. Wow, brave of you to post that online. You hear it enough times, and suddenly, you're second-guessing yourself in situations where you used to feel confident. Example, the group project problem. We've all been here. A school project, a work assignment, everyone's got their role. You put in hours researching, organizing, making sure everything's on point. And then there's that person. They barely contribute, show up late, maybe even disappear for a week. But the moment the project is done, they're hinting to others that you didn't pull your weight. And the wild part is, they're so convincing that some people believe them. Meanwhile, you're sitting there wondering if you accidentally stepped into an alternate universe. Why they act like this? Here's where it gets interesting. Most toxic behavior comes from insecurity. If they tear you down, they feel taller. Jealousy. Your wins remind them of their losses. Boredom. Drama is their favorite sport. The scary thing is, they usually don't think they're toxic. They'll call it keeping it real, just being honest. looking out for you. But make no mistake, they're not protecting you. They're protecting their own ego. The cost of keeping them close. Here's the real problem. The more time you spend around toxic people, the more you start to absorb their energy. It's like secondhand negativity. You're not the one spreading it, but you're still breathing it in. You become more guarded, less confident, quicker to doubt yourself. And worst of all, you start thinking this is normal. Step 1, awareness. Before we can talk about not caring about them, which we will later, we have to first spot them. Once you start seeing the pattern, the shade, the digs, the drama, you can't unsee it. And when you can't unsee it, you can't pretend it's harmless anymore. That's the first step to taking back your power.
Chapter 2. Why we care too much. All right, but here's the million-peso question. If we know these people are toxic, if we see the patterns, if we understand what they're doing, then why, and I mean why, do we still care so much about what they think? Let's be honest. It's not because we're weak. It's because we're human. Humans have this deep, annoying little feature built into our brains. We want to be liked, even by people we don't like. It's ridiculous. It's like craving the approval of that one teacher who clearly hated everyone. The school programming. Think about it. From the moment we were kids, we were trained to seek approval. Gold star on your homework? Feels good. Teacher says good job? You glow for a week. Class laughs at your answer? You never raise your hand again. We learned early that validation feels like oxygen and criticism feels like drowning. The social media trap. Fast forward to now. We carry tiny scoreboards in our pockets. Likes, shares, comments. Each one is a little hit of dopamine. And when someone talks trash about us online, it doesn't just feel like a comment. It feels like a public announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have decided this person is not cool. And of course, our brain is totally calm about it. It doesn't obsessively replay the comment 38 times while we're trying to sleep. Nope, totally chill. The need to defend ourselves. We also care because we want to be understood. If someone says something untrue, there's this primal urge to correct the record. We think, if I just explain myself, if I just clear it up, if they just heard my side of the story. Spoiler, toxic people don't want your side of the story. They want the drama. They feed on the reaction. The what if they're right problem. Here's the other thing nobody likes to admit. Sometimes we care because deep down, part of us wonders if they're right. If someone says, you're lazy, you're not that talented, you're weird, there's a little voice in our head that goes, wait, are we? That's why it hurts so much. It's not always about the person saying it. It's about the part of us that's not 100% sure about ourselves yet. Culture pressure. And in places like school or the workplace, or even in a big family, reputation matters. We care what people think because sometimes it feels like survival. You don't want to be the problem student. You don't want to be the difficult employee. You don't want to be the cousin everyone avoids at family parties. So we tiptoe, we please, we overthink, all to avoid being the subject of that next whispered conversation. The irony. Here's the messed up part. The more we try to be liked by everyone, the more we lose ourselves. And the more we lose ourselves, guess what? We're less happy. And when we're less happy, guess what? Toxic people notice. And when they notice, they push even harder. It's a cycle. One long, exhausting, drama-filled cycle.
the turning point. The truth is, caring about what some people think is normal. We should care what our real friends think. We should care if we're hurting someone. We should care about being decent humans. But caring about the opinion of someone who would talk trash about you no matter what you do, that's like rearranging furniture on a sinking ship. Which brings us to the next chapter. What if we just stopped caring? Not in a cold, I hate everyone way, but in a, your opinion doesn't get to control my life way.
The power of not caring, embracing our true selves. You know, there comes a point in life where you realize some people's favorite sport isn't basketball. It's talking trash about you. At first, it hurts. You replay their words in your head like a bad song you can't turn off. And you start thinking, what did I do? Why me? But here's the plot twist. Sometimes it's not even about you. It's about them. Their insecurity, their boredom, their need to feel better by pulling someone else down. Step 1, the permission to not care. Let me tell you something you might not have heard in a while. You are allowed to not care. I mean it. You are allowed to not attend every argument you're invited to. You are allowed to let people be wrong about you. You are allowed to focus on your own life instead of fixing someone's bad opinion. Caring less isn't cold. It's self-defense. The real freedom of not caring. When you stop caring about what they say, something magical happens. You get your time back. You get your mental energy back. Instead of lying awake imagining the perfect comeback, you actually sleep. Instead of scrolling their social media to see if they're still talking, you scroll to learn something new, watch a funny video, or just laugh at memes. That's the trade-off. You lose their approval, but you gain yourself. Why we care too much? Let's be honest. A big reason we care about what people say is because we want to be liked. It's human nature. But here's the thing. The more you try to be liked by everyone, the more you slowly disappear. You water yourself down to avoid judgment, and before you know it, you're just bland. You're not ice cream anymore. You're plain ice cubes. And nobody ever said, wow, those ice cubes changed my life. Choosing your peace over their opinion. Sometimes you have to make a decision. Do I want to be at peace, or do I want to be universally liked? Because you can't have both. There will always be someone who misreads you, misunderstands you, or just doesn't vibe with you. And that's fine. Not everyone has to get you. You're not a limited edition action figure that needs universal approval. You're a human being, messy, unique, and 100% not for everyone. And here's where it gets good. Once you stop caring about their trash talk, you open the door to something way better. You start living as you. The freedom after letting go. It's crazy. You don't realize how much mental space gossip takes up until it's gone. When you're not stuck defending yourself in your head 24/7, you finally have room to breathe. Room to read that book you've been putting off. Room to take up a hobby without thinking, what will they say? Room to actually rest without guilt. The risk of being yourself. Here's the catch though. Being yourself feels risky. Because now when you show up as you, if someone doesn't like it, there's no mask to hide behind. But here's the twist. That risk, it's worth it. Because you'll attract people who actually like the real you, not the version you invented to please them. The selective spotlight rule. Authenticity doesn't mean giving everyone full access to your soul. It means being consistent in who you are while choosing who gets front row seats. The people who support you, give them the VIP pass. The people who trash talk, they can watch from the cheap seats if they even get in the building. Your weird is your superpower. That laugh you think is too loud, that's joy. That hobby everyone thinks is pointless, That's passion. That style you think is too different. That's you, and that's power. You can spend your life sanding down your edges so you fit in, or you can sharpen them and stand out. The ripple effect of owning who you are. When you own who you are, you do more than just live freely. You give other people permission to do the same. Your confidence will inspire that coworker to finally speak up. Your individuality will inspire your friend to stop apologizing for being too much. And your refusal to shrink will remind strangers that they don't have to either. The self-acceptance loop. Here's the best part. The more you accept yourself, the less you care about being accepted by others. And the less you need outside approval, the freer you become. It's a loop worth staying in. The mic drop moment. You could be the ripest, juiciest mango in the world, and someone will still say, "Ew, I hate mangoes." You can't change the taste, but you can keep being a mango. Sweet, bold, a little messy, but worth it to the right people. Stop auditioning for roles in other people's lives that you never wanted. Be the main character in your own story. The critics, they can stay in the balcony. If this hit home tonight, take it as your sign. You don't need permission to be yourself. But if you've been waiting for someone to say it, here it is. Go be unapologetically you.